to be here for the laptop.
What we're going to do is we'll allow each one of you to have a speech, a talk for 3 minutes to give us reasons why you would like to run the Parish Council and what you could possibly bring to it.
Can I just check what our process of watching is, because I've only had written statements from 2 applicants. And I
we've only received 2. I had asked the others, but they can obviously speak now.
Quite tricky to make a decision at the actual meeting with no written documentation at all from some people about what skills they bring or why they want to be on the Parish Council. Given that we're already quite a full council, it would be useful to be looking at people who bring different skills, which I think is what I'll recommend as well, that it's skill sets that we can have.
But we will still allow them to have. Yeah, at the end of the day, is you can be vetting the way that the voting's done.
Can you just confirm the way that we're going to go from 4 candidates to 3 possible seats?
That's a bit of a nightmare. What we've got to do is basically we've got to vote for each seat individually. So what we have to do is we will have the presentation. At the end of that presentation, we will then have the names of the 4 people, and you will put whoever you wish on the piece of paper.
One person. They can only vote for one.
You can only vote for one person, by the way. That will then be taken away and counted, and the person with the least amount of votes will be discarded. And then the whole process goes again for the next 3 till we get down to 2. And
so we only need 1.
You have to do the seats individually. So you're doing 1 vote for the first seat.
This is unfortunately the way that we've been told we have to do this.
If that's the case, and I did look at this earlier, and other councils do it slightly different ways.
This is how
I accept that you've taken advice. But there are other ways of doing it, which is to take a vote and then just eliminate the person with the fewest votes. That's what some parish councils do with co-option. And I think because we haven't got any standing orders, we need to take a vote on the process tonight before we vote. That we accept the methodology that we're using.
Well, I just wanted to fill in one detail that Joe and I have been talking about, that when you get to the point of having a final vote, the seat isn't filled unless the person with the most votes has more than 50% of the voters.
So they're going to have to get 7 votes. When you get down to 2 people for 1 seat, they need to get 7 votes. So if at the first vote no one gets to that point, then no one obviously.
And it also needs to be abandoned, the election, at the point where the highest candidate gets fewer than 7 votes. So the options are to vote for a candidate, but also to leave your paper blank if there isn't a candidate you want to vote for.
Sorry.
Yeah, since Brian's asked for a vote, I think the most important thing is that we know what the advice was and who gave it
This is
to
the
us.
advice from Capel. There are other ways of doing it, and they've said that other councils do it, but this is the correct way of doing it.
So this is
So I'd rather do it the correct way, even though it's long-winded.
Stephen?
At least I know we've done it properly.
Yeah, so just thinking back to the last time there was an article at the election, and as I understood it, you voted individually on each. Well, you did the first procedure, and the first one is where it's dropped out, and you then had to vote individually on each one separately. So that if that person ended up more than 50%. So it wasn't actually a competitive election once you got down to the requisite number of seats. Do you see what I'm saying? Sorry.
Yes, so 2 things I want to say. One is that I don't think we're under any obligation to fill vacancies on the council. So in fact, when we've had this discussion previously, we've actually decided that if we had the maximum number of councillors that we're allowed, it's actually quite an unwieldy number. Not even just in terms of the building space, but in terms of discussions. So we don't necessarily want to fill out every vacancy that we can. The other thing I wanted to say is I think it would be useful to, if you agree, I think it would be useful to ask all the candidates just to mention what's the reason that they didn't apply when we had parish council elections in April, because, you know, if anyone who's saying they're aware of local government issues, that would seem to me to have been the most obvious time to apply. So it would be quite useful to know why they didn't.
Yes, I would agree with that, and I'm also concerned about the lack of any kind of written application from two of the 4 candidates, because I think one of the issues about a co-option in the same way as an election to a parish council is there is a governance issue, and there's something about people being open to public scrutiny, and if you have nothing in writing, and we have had nothing to read in advance, then that, in my view, is not.
No, we've had letters from 2 candidates. The other 2 candidates, I don't think I even know their names.
No.
They haven't been mentioned in any of the documentation that we've been sent.
Right, should we go?
So the bottom line is this is the advice we've been given.
But as we don't have a procedure for
That's what
doing
we
this,
said on the proposed we
I
do it.
propose that we have a vote to adopt the measures you're recommending.
Okay?
Thank you.
Second, having a vote or
all those in...
well, so I think Brian's proposing we have a vote rather than actually proposing to adopt. Is that?
No, you said
No, the procedure that we're going to
For this
do.
evening, in this circumstances, I'm proposing we adopt the recommendations from the Parish, so that we've got a procedure in place that we have endorsed.
Yeah.
Okay, vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hang on a sec. I was going to say, I mean, what does Capel advise about the submission of applications?
Well, they haven't. They just have to fill the form in that you get from South Cowes, and then it doesn't say they have to. Which is why now they come in, and then you want
There's no legal requirement.
There's no legal requirement.
So there's absolutely no more information used as well.
So councillors should take that into account when they cast their votes.
Can we not question?
Let's give them all 3 minutes to get up to this bit, and then.
Well, should we take a vote on the procedure?
Right, hold on, let's pull this back in. So what we would do, it's been proposed and seconded that we would take a vote on the procedure that's been recommended to us. All those in favour of that procedure, please raise your hands. Right. So we will now move on to the presentation from the 4 candidates. Have we got a preference? Well, we have a time, yes, thank you very much. So, right, so in that case, if Stephen Drew would like to
stand here or come and stand in the middle?
Whatever you're most comfortable
I am
with.
comfortable
We
anywhere.
can hear you.
That's absolutely fine. Okay, good evening ladies and gentlemen. I did submit a written statement beforehand.
Thank you.
However, obviously what I will do is perhaps read through parts of it and then maybe possibly sort of expand upon some of it. I started off by pointing out that I've lived in Salisbury for the last 20 years. I live in Woodham Road, I now live at the other end of the village in Brookfield Road. My wife's family is actually from Salisbury and has been forever. When the 125th anniversary of the John Faulkner Primary School took place, well, it's probably about 15 or so years ago, there were photographs of members of her family going right back to the opening of the school. Not my family, but her family, so I'll count that as sort of being the same. My children attended both John Faulkner and then the Paxton and the Bellbird and then went to the village college here. My children are now 20 and 17. My daughter's at Hills Road, my son is now working. I was actually on the governing body of John Faulkner from 2002 until it closed, and as I put within the explanation, I was also part of the John Faulkner governing body when the process was being gone through to close the school and open the Bellbird school. So therefore I was involved in working with County Council's Education Property Department for the design and building process for the Bellbird school, and was on the original, both the what was known as the interim governing body of the Bellbird and then the first governing body as well. During that time, the Bellbird was also involved in helping to work with the Jigsaw preschool, which at that time was going through some difficulties. So I also, for a short period of time, just a couple of meetings, also got involved with that. Although my children were a bit older at that point, I think it was important to support that group. I've been a teacher for 20 years, and I've taught in Suffolk, and in Essex and Cambridgeshire. For 12 years, from 2005 to 2017, I was an assistant head teacher in secondary school, then a deputy head, and then head teacher of a school in Essex from 2012 until December 2017. The school that I was head teacher of, we had an annual budget of £7.5 million. We had 1,400 students, and I was responsible for the management of 200 members of staff on a day-to-day basis. So I am used to being part of many, many different committees, and as I've explained within here, I've chaired hundreds of meetings in that time, be it senior leadership team meetings and others. I've been part of numerous school governing bodies in a variety of roles, both as the professional officer within it as the head teacher, but also as part of a governing body within the school. And as I put within here, I have lots of experience of working with governors, trust boards, and being involved with issues to do with finance, human resources, standards, marketing, community relations, and others. I also been involved in supporting the leadership teams in other schools as well. So one of the things that I did was I supported the senior leadership team of a prison school, which was local to the school where I was, when they were obviously going through quite a lot of difficulties, which, as you can imagine, is quite a tricky thing to be responsible for. I also sat on the governing body of one of our feeder primary schools. In answer to the point that was raised by one of the councillors earlier about why maybe I didn't apply at that point, was because I chose to give up my headship in December 2017 because I wanted to be able to stop with all the time, it was about 90 hours a week doing that, and to have a choice to be able to do other things. However, during the first 3 months after I gave it up, I deliberately made a decision not to go and do anything else. So therefore I had a period of not doing things, and the rest of it is written down.
Isn't it? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The questions are going to be very limited because we've got a big agenda ahead of us. So, is there any really specific questions?
So I'll stand up
Anyone
again.
would like to ask? No? Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Can I have Roger Richmond, please?
That was done before me because I was on.
No,
That's all right.
change it now.
Right, my name's Roger Richmond. I've been on the parish council before. The simple reason I didn't apply to stay on. I got so fed up with the way they've done political. and one or two people have asked me why I packed it in, and I told them, and they said I should have stayed on that. I'm not going to say a lot, because talking is not going to make any difference. Qualifications he's got, I stand an earthly chance. But I'm quite happy to come back on the parish council. I know the village, I was born here. I was born here at Town Close. My kids were born here. And I know nearly everybody on this committee. And that's all I'm going to say, right? I'm not angry there.
Thank you. Can I have Adrian Eggleston?
My name's Adrian Eggleston. I originally come from Eccleston. Lived there virtually all my life until moving to Duxford for a couple of years. And since '91, I've been in Sawston, living in Ashley Way. Married to Linda with two boys who, again, both attended all the schools in Sawston. One's gone on to do an apprenticeship engineering course, and the other one is doing a sports course at Long Road. The reason I want to come on the council is because I came to the annual parish meeting and saw how things worked, and it interested me a great deal. So the things I want to bring to the council are to improve the facilities within the community, a passion for getting things sorted out, someone to represent the villages and local businesses' concerns, an interest in green spaces, trees and footpaths, and someone to help with keeping the village safe for residents. My father was on the Eccleston Parish Council for near on 20 years, so if I can replicate anything that he achieved there, then all well and good.
So coming back to the question that was asked, is why didn't you put name forward for the elections at that time?
I didn't realise that was when everybody had to apply.
Right, okay, thank you. And finally, can we have Jenna Gregory, please?
Hopefully I won't talk about myself for 3 minutes, but I going back to Greg's question, I didn't apply before because I look after my mum, and I wasn't able to get to meetings beforehand. Now I've been to a couple of meetings, I have been quite interested in things that have been dealt with and would like to join. I've lived here all my life, brought my kids up, ignored school, like to get involved with the community. I do quite a lot of charity work, raise money for a lady who lost her home, and also just recently did the same for another friend. I just love this community, I love this village, I want my kids to grow up and live here for many years, and I'm just passionate about the village, and that's what I've got to say.
Okay, right, thank you very much, all of you. We will now proceed to the... Closing. Yeah, by the way, it has to be a secret ballot.
That's great. If you need to just write one name down per person that you want on. No, you have to put one name and then the person below comes off. Yeah, each seat. So we've got to go through this 3 times. And then
You'll note that we're counting off camera.
Place any ballots like to do for council election. What if there was going to place them like that for district or
Okay, so the first round of the voting, the person that received the lowest amount of votes is Roger Richmond.
Well done.
So now we need to vote again for the three remaining.
And we can choose not to write
If you
something.
don't want to vote for anything, don't write anyone.
Any of you want the lowest number of votes?
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah. If this happens again, let's just do it the easy way.
We're doing it the proper way.
Oh, they have to get seconds.
We just had one person.
Ballot, which has 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I suggested. Right. The lowest number of votes on the second round was Adrian. So we're left with Jenna and Stephen. So what happened now is that they have to have 50% of the vote plus one. So
But how come we're still...
Sorry.
Yeah.
If Adrian got more than 50% of the votes,
Who said he?
no, just
He's got the lowest.
he got the lowest.
But why is that?
So he has to be eliminated, and now we're voting. Now you're voting for the
We've
two
got to do each
remaining
chair
people.
Not
They have
eliminated
50%.
completely, eliminated from the ballot for this.
For the ballot for this, and then they'll vote for the next one.
Next vote, there are only three candidates.
But at least we don't do it every
It really isn't.
No.
I spent a long time thinking about it. When we do this,
Now 3-2 on the first.
Yes. That's it, yeah. Chris Rain, okay. So Chris Rain. Okay, Chris Rain is Chris Rain is my wife's great grandfather. So Chris Rain is my wife's great grandfather, and his son was married to Shirley, who still lives there. That's my wife's grandmother.
That way, the three things.
So Karen, so nothing was Karen. Yeah. And of course Chris was caretaker. Yeah, we still drive. So she's 90 next year. 90 next year.
But if no one gets on this one, then
it ends here.
It ends here.
Right, unfortunately, no one has reached the critical mark of a majority vote. So at that stage, it stops there, and the news is that no one, the whole procedure now stops of co-option, and no one is co-opted on.
Is that for a year?
No, you can be asked to be co-opted on any time.
You can be applied to be co-opted on, but because there's no majority, no one actually gets co-opted on.
Is that same next month again then?
So,
well, it depends how many people come out.
yeah.
It's supposed to be 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah, no, they need to wait.
They don't have to wait 6 months.
There's 3 seats on the parish council.
Sorry?
I'm willing to accept. I didn't get through. I got through 3 seats, 3 people.
Yeah, but you can't because
You
everyone
can't.
else by majority votes.
No, it's
You
not.
can't just give...
Roger.
I know it's where you go on.
We've
But
taken
people
my
are
advice.
happy the way it goes.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the way that the process that we've been advised to apply is the one that we stuck to, and it clearly stated there's not a majority vote. When it gets to this stage, then the whole co-option process will stop.
Yeah, but you lot weren't voted on. You just applied and got on.
We were voting on a process. And if anybody, if the other 3 people had stood, if 4 people had stood, they would need a contested election.
Yes, exactly.
If 3 people had stood, then they would have been here already.
But I'm just saying, there's still 3 seats there. 3 people got through, they should be on.
Yeah, but
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
not how
Anyway, we need to move on.
Sorry about that. Well, we have to move on.
They simply don't want people on that. I know why they don't want me, because they don't want being told the bloody truth.
One of the things that you have to take on board, Roger, is the council are under no obligation to actually co-opt anyone on.
I know.
So that's where we are.
Yeah, but you keep saying you want more people in the parish council. They had 4 apply, right on the whole and get on for a start.
Yeah, well, that's,
3 other people that should have just come on.
that's where we are. Okay,
I know.
Now we're going
That's
to
where you are, and it makes sense. It would be so simple that 3 want to go on. You're going to have all this rigmarole again. You've got 3 seats, and yet you can't let them...
Yeah, but not everyone maybe want them on. That's the thing. It's what they bring to the council as well.
Anyway.
And there was an election just
And there was an election.
in May the 3rd.
So they get 2 opportunities now of getting on. So that's the system that it is, I'm afraid. Anyway, moving on. Although it's not on the agenda, oh sorry, Kieran.
That's right, you're about to do exactly what I was just about to ask.
Although it's not on the agenda, it's been an omission, but we do have a 15-minute public participation time. So if there's any questions that the public would like to ask, please feel free. Mark?
Are you doing anything with Link Road, or will we be up here for the foreseeable future?
Up here, please.
For the full parish,
Yeah.
we will be up here for the foreseeable
We are
future.
going to, Bex asked us to look into the office, we are going to be looking at possibilities.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we make
It is an agenda
item?
item.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Not a sensible state of affairs. No, it's ridiculous.
Yes, please.
Sawston sign, did that die a death or will we
Sawston sign,
Yes.
the village sign?
Yes.
No, that's not died a death. That's a project that's ongoing, and we have got a. Beck is actually is the champion of that.
Oh, good, because it is nice to see a nice sign when you go through other villages, isn't it?
Yes, there's a surprising number of things that need to be decided before we actually get one made.
Yeah.
I'm meeting up with Mary Dickon of the Village History Society because the History Society want to do some other signage in the village about places of interest, a sort of information board thing, and we thought it would be good to tie everything together and have little stars, but I haven't actually managed to meet up with her yet. She's extremely busy.
Where would you put it?
That's we will discuss.
That's one of them. That's one of the many questions. One of the long-standing arguments about the village sign, in fact.
It would be nice to be, as you come into the village from Stepford, really, wouldn't it? If we just approach the village there. No?
Once we have some things to discuss, it will probably be on the agenda for the planning committee. So if you look out for that agenda, if you want to. And mind you, there isn't a public.
Yes.
But there is some public discussion at some stage.
Yeah, and I think also we'd want to include people who had an interest in it. Then we'd want to involve people in some way, and that's something that's still got to be decided. So, you know, it's I think perhaps when you're gathering information, you could perhaps get an idea of who's interested and how they want to be involved in the design location.
Where it goes, what it looks like, how many there are, how much we want to spend on it, are all sort of interrelated questions.
Are you looking this year?
Sorry?
Are you looking at it this year?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions? Yes.
The planning that you had last month, I couldn't make the meeting, there was the KWI gave you a presentation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which piece of land? H1 doesn't mean anything to me. There's
Right.
loads of bit of land up Baker Road that are planning for houses. Which one is it?
It's if you go, as you go on Baker Road, you've got the industrial estate on the left. The edge of the industrial estate, to where I think the coal houses are,
Yeah.
going back to in a slight diagonal, is that plot of land there
On the left-hand
side.
A bit of Saturday.
I don't know if you can see
Thank
from the
you.
back, probably not.
Yeah.
But
I know where I am now.
Exactly.
That one.
I think she probably knows which it is.
It does.
Okay.
Are you ready for me now? Right, who's in charge of grass cutting? Because as you're going out the village,
That's highways.
any time cut the grass, because you can't see as you're going out the village. They're cut all along the 1301 through Hingston and that. But as you're going out the village, you can't see. The grass is that high.
That's not the only area that's dangerous as well. There's a lot of others, and believe you me, I am on it. And I have reported it, and I have got the reply back from the highway stating that they will be doing 2 cuts this year. They've started the first cut, and they will get around to doing it as quickly as they possibly can. That was nearly 2 weeks ago. Nothing's actually happened in this area as of yet. So I will be chasing them up yet again, and now putting in the fact there is a severe health and safety issue.
Do they cut one strip or do they cut the whole lot? There. Because well, you have seen sort of strips cut and the rest of it's still growing.
Junctions.
Sometimes what they do is, if there's too bad, they just quickly go and make it a bit safer, but the whole area should be cut properly.
Surely they should do all junctions that first, shouldn't they, really?
We've got a reverse situation again this year. We've had the same situation for a couple of years in a row. And last year, the Spices Junction and bypass, which was one of the bad areas that you just mentioned, they perversely did the edges of the main road first, left the islands undone. Then they did one of the islands and left the other one. I mean, it's utterly nonsensical. No idea who thought doing it that way was a good idea. So it needs some proper management and risk assessment, because that's probably dangerous.
Oh, it is dangerous, and a lot of other villages are in the same situation if you go into Royston. Yeah, so it's obviously a problem everywhere. Grass cutting on highway verges isn't being prioritised.
Well, if the county council have 2 or 3 cuts a year, then we're clearly going to get a repeating problem.
We are actually, due to the process I started way back, we are now looking at our management strategy again and reviewing that. One of the things that came out of the meeting was that it was put to the officers that we were told they had capacity. Clearly they haven't. So what we're saying now is, why did you make that claim at that time, and why we're in the situation that we're in now? So we are actually looking at it, and hopefully I'll have some more answers to those questions in the next couple of weeks.
Would it be useful to just clarify that when you say we, you're talking about the position of the county council?
As a county, yeah, absolutely, yeah, as a county council. So, yeah.
Not necessarily clear to everybody.
Yeah. Good, very good point, yes, very good point. So as the county councillor, when I say we, is that as a parish, as a council, I've reported it. As a parish, generally speaking, to make it perfectly clear, if there's a problem with the parish, it goes through the clerk. It doesn't actually go through the actual members. So if you have a complaint, you contact the clerk, and the clerk will then deal with it as the clerk sees appropriate. Okay? Any more questions? In that case, I'll close up. Do you want to say, Tony?
I just wanted to say that because it wasn't listed, talking about the parishioners, which we just talked about, wasn't on the agenda, and then when we've actually taken it, it might well set a precedent that anything else that someone wants to bring up and maybe want to talk about it, and if it's not on the agenda, you've allowed this to be spoken about tonight.
The reason we're allowed to go is because it's in standing orders. Yeah, but I see where you're coming from.
I'm rather worried about anything else.
No, it is purely because it is in the standing orders. We do have a 15-minute open session, so we've just allowed that. But yes, I take your point on board. Thank you. Right. Moving on, declarations of interest for this meeting, please. Brian?
Yes, in the same way that you and David were on the planning committee, I now am, so I will probably be taking the decision to not vote on those matters.
So be no on all planning matters?
That's the likelihood.
Okay, that's fine.
There may be cases where I feel that
there's a safe course of action.
Yeah, it's always. Right, to confirm the minutes of the full parish held on the 8th of May 2018. I will go through them by item. Item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
If it's not on the agenda, could we just say thank you to people who came and staff the Parish Council and Open Plan Schools at the Village Faith? I think there were a few visitors there, and it was nice to have that presence.
Thank you. Yes, and I'd like to add my thanks to the people who did support that, and also at the Mary Chalice event, because we had quite a lot of interest at both stands, a lot of survey forms filled in, and it was really good also at the village fete, the second event, that we had the travel hubs people there as well, because I think they helped draw people in, and they got some interesting comments from the village too. Can I just add that the next one will be at the church fete on the 23rd of June. So if anyone who hasn't talked about neighbourhood plan to us, then do come along.
Okay.
Thank you.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please? And all those in favour? Thank you. Thank you. Right, item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, a quick point of interest on 7. I mean, it's not really for a correction to the minutes, but just to mention where Megan said that they contacted the owners of the H1C site, which is John Huntington's charity, Ward's charity, Driver Trust. We've had many consultations with them about being involved, so the implication there that there's somehow no communication going on should probably not the best thing to help people to go away with the impression.
Thank you for that. Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. Can I have a proposal for those? Neil, David, all those in favour? On to planning applications. Yeah, planning applications. So we're looking at. So
you skipped matters arising.
Was there a matters arising?
We've done that.
We normally do.
Normally do them as we go through the minutes.
That's why we go down the minutes.
But you're technically correct.
I was just following.
All right, planning. Well, I'm moving on to planning. Planning application S. 1775 18FL. Loft conversion with a proposed dormer at 7 Brookfield Road, Salisbury. Can I have comments, please?
Yes, I've had a look at the plans of this. I mean, I don't think in principle there's too big an issue with it, but there's one aspect that did concern me, and that is what appears to be what's known as a sort of Juliet balcony, which is sort of open, which is sort of like sort of French windows, the sort of small balcony around the front. And I just wonder about the effect of that on overlooking neighbours' gardens.
Okay.
The balcony is actually on the top floor.
It is.
So there's going to be actually 3 floors.
Yes. Yeah.
To the back of the building. The front will be the same with a sloped roof and a flat window. Phoenix window they call.
Yes, that's right.
But the back will be straight up. Three floors, ground, middle and top, and the Juliet balcony is on the top. Now there were no neighbour comments on the site, that I could find, but that is a good point.
There may not have been, I don't know how long it has been on there, so there may not have been an opportunity for these comments yet. That's,
But I don't think it would be the balcony, it would be the counter.
well, yes,
adding extra floor, it's a large window.
well, that's, yes, that's it really, yes. I mean, it's the whole assembly proposal.
But I think because it's the balcony, the assumption is that people might sit there and...
yes.
It's French windows.
Excuse me, can we keep this in order, please? If you want to speak, can you raise your hand? Thank you, Ben.
If it's a Juliet balcony, you can't sit on it, it's purely decorative. I think it's just a box that you don't. So, but it does mean you can have windows wide open so you don't fall out.
Exactly.
Kieran?
No, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
No, I was going to make the same point.
I was just going to say, if we've not had any comments or complaints from the neighbours, and it doesn't look like it's going to overshadow there aren't any noise complaints or anything, I think that there's proposed to support.
Right, so you're made up, Tony?
Yeah, well, okay, but I'd like a comment to go in that the parish council would like the district council to reassure itself that there will be no overlooking as a result of this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you want me to?
And the location, Tony.
Oh, sorry. Tony?
Well, I think the bit about the overlooking by its own merit is that the doors or windows will be overlooking, won't they?
Janet?
Yes, I would agree with Tony's comments if we can add a rider to the supporting application. If that is
So do we, you make that proposal, or do I have a seconder, please?
Second to make one
I'm
without additional bit, yeah.
quite happy to have that rider.
Do I have a proposal? Can I have a proposal for the actual development of support or not supported?
So we're supported, but district council to ensure there's no
What I'm saying is I'm happy to add Tony's advisory or request.
So it's a proposal with that amendment?
Yeah. So,
So I just need to vote.
do I have a second proposal?
Yeah.
Janet?
In favour?
All those in favour?
Right, just keep your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rationally, sorry, keep your hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, Ray, you not, no.
Those against?
1, 2, 3.
Any abstentions? No,
You have just voted, I've got 13. Yeah, done. So 4, 7, 4, 6 against.
So it is.
So that goes with probably the
Right, move on to the next one. S2028 18PA. Single story lean-to extension following demolition of existing single story at 13 Sandfoyne Close, Sawston. Comments, please.
I don't know what this is about. There's the plan there, which is as existing, is all we've got. That refers to a proposed loft conversion and extension, but there are no plans, and so I would suggest. Well, there's
more detail.
I would suggest that we sort of can we reject?
Well, as I understand it, it's a prior application, and that they're basically replacing more or less like with like as far as the external is concerned, with some internal modifications, as I understood it.
But it doesn't. It doesn't say that.
Just make sure we do get more information posted.
I think I don't think we can make a decision based on the information before us.
Insufficient information.
Would you like to propose that?
I want to propose it.
Yeah. Second.
I'm not there tomorrow. I was just making sure we haven't been sent any more details than what was online. We haven't.
No. So I'm
Right, so sorry, request more.
Request for more information.
More information to discuss.
Proposed by Neil, seconded by Jane.
Thank you.
So, all those in favour of, what have you put there? Not supporting, are they? Yeah, all those in favour requesting for further information.
Information, we're not supporting the loss.
The reason I suggest that they're proposing to, I mean, I basically agree with the proposal, but I think the reason I suggest that they're proposing to replace light by light is because in the section of the application where it asks whether how it ought to be external dimensions within each block box. So anyway, but I'm happy to.
So we will agree basically that we would like more information.
Yeah,
we'll take that. Take that. Okay. Right.
Some more information, I'll read that to the next meeting.
Moving on to the next application, S192018FL, increase to roof height by 240 millimetres at unit H1 and H2, Downs Manor, Bayham Road, Salisbury. Comments please, David.
Well, basically all they're doing is add an insulation to the outside of it. So I have no problems with that. I think it's 24 centimetres. It is, yes. So,
okay. So, all those in favour? And one no. Okay, thank you for that.